Busy. Busy summer so far.
Yep. My name's Dr. Barron, and this is our head technician here at Nova Cat Clinic, Ellen Carosa. And today we thought it would make sense to talk to you about the upcoming holiday, the 4th of July.
Yep.
Because as many people in the pet industry know, it's the day of the year that the most pets go missing.
Yep, pretty much. And it's usually just due to common misconceptions about common sense dealing with your pet during the holiday season, because everybody's wanting to party and host barbecues and whatnot, and they forget about like the one person in their family that doesn't understand what's happening. It's so stressful, and it's just like any other holiday that we always talk about. It's a stressful situation, and the 4th of July unfortunately is really stressful because not only is there strange people in the house, different smells, and now there's sudden loud noises.
The noises that are so scary, because remember, dogs and cats hear much better than we do. They don't see as well as we do, and instead they can smell and hear better. So if something sounds like a gun's going off multiple times, and if you didn't know what was going on, that makes sense that was scary, don't you think?
Right, that flight or fright response is way up here.
Yeah, especially if you're close. And then the other problem is it's not even, I feel like it's not even like the big fireworks that are happening. It's the random people that set off little things. And it's like all of a sudden you hear like 5 or 6 over there. Like that would be really unnerving if you were a dog or a cat.
Right, so like common sense would be if you knew if you had a cat or a dog that was very sensitive to fireworks, well, you don't set them off in your yard.
Yes.
You go somewhere else to maybe go see a firework show. Or if you do know that you have fireworks that happen on your street, that maybe you need to do something for your pet ahead of time, especially if you know that last year this happened. Maybe I need to prepare ahead of time, because you never know how they're going to react or what's going to happen. You may have some dogs that, or even some cats that get so freaked out that they'll jump through windows, they'll scratch the door down, they'll hurt themselves or hurt the people who's around them. They go missing, they get hit by cars.
They go to the bathroom, everywhere, they throw up. They're just like sitting there shaking, the poor things. So I think if you know if this is an issue for your pets, that you do a lot of the things we've talked about before, like before you take them to the vet clinic, what do? Feel Away probably isn't going to cut it. Zilkine probably isn't going to cut it. I would probably get something from your vet to help them kind of calm down. I don't think it's wrong to put on like white noise things. That helps lessen it, you know, unless it's like next door on the ground or whatever. But I think the main thing for me on the 4th of July is I just want everyone to have a microchip. Because if they get out, that's your way to find them.
Right, and they might not get out because of fireworks. They might get out because somebody left the back door open.
Right.
Because a guest was coming and going, and you have an armful of food, and there goes the cat, or there goes the dog, or you know, something else occurs when you're not paying attention, which is usually one of the biggest reasons why pets go missing on these holidays. Is people just forget that they exist for some reason, and then like 5 hours later, like, where's Fluffy?
Yes. I think the other 2 things to remember around the 4th of July, which kind of has to do with summer in general, would be, and I don't feel like this happens as much in cats. I feel like this is a little bit more of a dog thing, but I know some cats that go outside on walks and things like that. If it's hot out, bring water for them, or maybe don't take them out long, or take them out first thing in the morning and last thing in the evening.
Right,
because
stay out on the grass.
Yeah, the last thing we want is for someone to, you know, get a heat stroke. That's not fun for anybody, especially not the pet, and it's totally preventable.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things, like when you and I both worked at a big box facility years ago. That was like one of the biggest calls that you would hear over loudspeakers, is that there was somebody whose dog or cat was in the car with the windows rolled up in the summertime, and then we would give them, you have 1 minute to get to your car, the staff member's there to be there with you, or we're calling the cops and we're gonna break the window.
Yeah, I feel like that happened a lot.
Yes, that was a big thing we heard.
I feel like I used to see that a lot in the ER in the summer, and it was always frustrating. Or it was like the kid that went rollerblading with the golden retriever, and the golden retriever was a golden retriever and just wanted to make everybody happy, and they kept going and going and going, and like a couple days later they still couldn't get the dog's temp under 105. It was really sad. So, you know, just common sense things with your cats in the summer. And then the other thing is, like, if you're you're having a party and the door's open a lot and people are coming in and out, there's nothing wrong with having your pets on flea prevention and intestinal parasite prevention. Whichever product you want to use, that's not the discussion we're having. I'm just saying, it's summer, things come in and out, have them on prevention.
Now, so now as a veterinarian, and you have, like, say if you have a client that can't medicate their pet, or they just haven't been to us in a long time, so they can't come and get something prescription strength to help their pet, what could they do at home to kind of help dampen the senses down, to kind of make this holiday season a little less stressful for them with the 4th of July coming up?
So one thing you could get over the counter would be Zilpine or Anzatane. That's a milk casing supplement you can put in the food. You could also try Feel Away. It's not going, I feel like if you do a bunch of these things together, it might help. It's not going to be like me giving you a sedative that would help. But if you haven't been to the vet in a while, that might help if you do a couple of the things I'm discussing. Some people really like Rescue Remedy. And then the other thing I would do is just try to deafen the noise. You know, like maybe put some blankets up over the windows to try to make it so it doesn't vibrate as much. Maybe put on sound machines. Maybe be with your cat during the fireworks so they're not alone by themselves and freaked out. Because that's one of the problems. Like, okay, so my family's gone, and it sounds like the world is exploding. That would be scary. So maybe, you know, don't see the fireworks or watch the ones on TV, or go like to the ones that aren't close to you like the next weekend or something. Those would be the things I would think about. Is there anything you can think of?
No, I think you hit like a lot of the major points is that we have to make sure that we kind of get that audio visual sensories dampened down quite a bit for them, and try to reduce the anxiety either on the pheromone level of like overstimulating the hypothalamus, or on the, you know, the metabolic chemical level, that some cats actually do need it since their fight or fright response is just beyond what, you know, I don't want to say like a lot of people's cats are like anxiety driven or whatever, but I think a lot of people take for granted that if they don't think their cat is stressed because they're really awesome at not showing that they're stressed, they're just not aware of their body language and how their cat actually emotes their stressful senses. Like, you know, just looking at their face sometimes if they're here at the clinic, we can tell just by looking at the cat's face that this cat is stressed out and it's not happy. Well, at home they might be like, well, that's normal for him. And they have a super stressful hustle and bustle kind of household, and well, your cat might be at a level 6 its whole entire life, and then all of a sudden we're gonna go to something that's like, you know, as Spinal Tap would say, a level 11, go right to there, versus you have a cat that's like, man, you know, nothing phases them, and nothing may phase that cat, so it's like really important for you to actually be in tune to your cat's personality, and if you know that you have a high anxiety level, a lot of times people will actually make their pets at their anxiety level as well.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Yes.
Is if they're an anxious person, their pets, and we see it a lot in medicine, that their pets have that same anxiety level.
I mean, it's the same thing with people and their kids, right? If you're always up here, a lot of times your kid is maybe not as high, but a little lower.
Right. So they're being taught that's their normal. So, you know, then you're bringing it up a lot higher. So I think you touch on a lot of the important things. I think a lot of it really does boil down to common sense around the holidays, that if you know your pet does not respond appropriately and very stressful situations, then maybe you should have put them in that stressful situation in the first place.
Yeah.
And just skip out on the holiday if you have to. You know,
maybe you don't have the barbecue at your house.
Yep.
You know, if there's
do something different. Even locking those animals up in a room while you have guests over, believe it or not, that is a stressor. Even though it's protecting them from what's going on, it's a significant stressor, especially if you put like a cat in a room that they're never allowed in that room.
Yes. Or if it's like, why is my litter box in a different place? My litter box is in a different place. You know, they just.
Right. I don't get fed in the kitchen. Why am I being fed in the bedroom all of a sudden? So these are stressors that everybody needs to kind of focus on, and they think a day is not going to make a difference. A day to a cat is like a week to us sometimes. So you have to remember that they age a lot faster, so sometimes they see time a lot differently than what we do as well. So you really have to be mindful that your cat is on a very different stress level, and look at the environment completely differently. And we tend to anthropomorphize our pets
instead
all
of
the
cat
time
anthropomorphize.
instead of actually understanding cat.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a big problem.
Yes. Lexi, are there any questions?
Nope.
Cool. Well, if you don't have any questions, or if you think of some later and you'd like to shoot us an email, or you can comment below these videos, and just let us know how we can help you further. Thanks. We'll try to do one more than once every 2 or 3 months.
Again, we're trying to figure out how to make all of this into longer lasting podcasts. We're hoping for like maybe 20-30 minute podcasts that you'll be able to download on all the big podcast areas. So if you have any experience doing podcasting and you want to share your experiences with us, try to make us a little bit more successful, because we're always in a time crunch when we're doing our coffee talks, but we want to make sure that we're able to give you a lot more detailed information and actually bring in some fantastic guests.
Yes, and make it so all of your questions are answered in a timely manner. All right.